Hi everyone, welcome to My Physical World. Today we're talking about glaciation and the history in our area, Huron County, Ohio. The Wisconsinan Ice Sheet covered this area of Ohio. Actually, it covered the majority of Ohio, with the exception of the hills that are on the southeast part of the state. In Huron County, this area was covered by the ice. And our property that we live on actually sits on top of an ancient moraine field. Matter of fact, if you see the field behind us, that is all moraine that was laid down by the Wisconsinan Ice Sheet. And what I'm going to do today is we're going to get in the car and I'm going to drive to certain locations in Huron County to show you some features from past glaciation. The one thing that I need you to remember is things look a lot different now than they did after the glaciers melted right away. You'll see videos and pictures of people near current glaciers, and you're going to see a lot of boulders and rocks and rubble fields. Well, our area is well deposited by soils and things like that, so our terrain or our area looks a little different because we have farm fields, we have tree growth and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you what these glacial remnants look like now after years of deposits of soils and things like that. So it's just a kind of small guided tour of glaciation in my own backyard, basically, Huron County, Ohio. And if you live in Huron County, Ohio, or around this area, you can use this video as kind of a guide. You can go out and drive and see these landforms yourself. So I hope you enjoy the time. And when I did film it, it was a little windy, so there might be some wind noise in the background periodically, but bear with me, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the tour. All of this field is sitting on ancient rubble. You can't really tell it because of all the silt and all of the soil that's laid on top of all of this rubble. But it may not be too impressive looking when you're looking through a camera. But this was covered by 1,000 feet of ice. Now, I got a picture, I got a photograph of this shot right here that we're looking at right now, that I'll make some annotations on it. But I am sitting right now, I'm sitting on, there's right through here, there's a valley that runs through here. It's not a deep valley, but it's a valley nevertheless. Right where this truck is going, he's going downhill, and he's going down into the valley right now. That valley is an outwash. He just came off of this ridge where I'm standing right now. This is the extent of part of the end moraine. Now, if you notice, he's getting ready to go up another hill right there where those trucks are passing, and he's going up the other side of the ridge. That right there is another moraine from the ice sheet. Now he'll go down a little bit, there's a little trough, and then he goes up a hill again. You'll see that hill way, not the peak hill in the back, That's a landfill. But he's going up. He's getting ready to go up a hill right now, and that other hill is another moraine. In this part of the county, we have 3 moraines along this highway that you don't really pay any attention to until you know the glacial history of Ohio. Now I'm in an outflow. This is where there was an outwash from glacial waters moving some moraine around. But I'm going down the highway. This is Route 13 between Fitchville and Mansfield, Ohio. Now I'm getting ready to go up another ridge. And I'm going up the ridge right now. I am going up another pile of rubble that was laid down by the glacial sheet. Now I'm sitting on top of the rubble, and we're kind of going. Now this rubble is quite a few meters below the surface, okay? We are actually on soil, obviously. Okay, now I'm going downhill a little bit. It's not much of a drop, but we're going downhill nevertheless into another outwash area. And you know, I'm doing this video. It's not a geology video. It's just kind of this is the cool thing I love about physical geography, is just trying to imagine what it was like, you know? Now, here I'm going down in another outwash area, but I'm coming up another small ridge right now, and this is another piece of moraine that we're going west. I am just west of a little town called North Fairfield, and I'm on Highway 162. Right now I'm about maybe 1/8 of a mile out of town. Now, I know you can't see it very well, but in the background you see that there's a hill coming up on me, okay? And that hill is probably 50-60 feet tall. Okay, that hill that's in the background, that's probably, I would say, 50-60 feet above my head. All right, so a 5-story building. All right, that right there is the top of a ridge, all the way like this. Okay, just like that, and then goes up a little higher over there. I'm going to get on the road that actually goes along that ridge, and kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. All right, now make sure I'm away from the road so I don't get hit. All right, now that road rides along this ridge, all the way up on that ridge, goes in that direction there. All right, now it's a ridge like this. All right, and the road is sitting on top. All right, and you follow that ridge, and this ridge goes all the way, it's probably about 16 miles. It goes about 16 miles that way, but then it starts to come downhill here and levels out over in this area here. All right, this feature, you can't really tell it by just looking at it right now. It looks just like a regular hill, okay? But that ridge is actually a serpentine looking feature on the Earth's surface, okay? What that is called an esker. E-S-K-E-R. And what an esker is when the glacial ice was sitting on top of us. A while back I said, when I first took that first video, I said about 1,000 feet thick. It wasn't really 1,000 feet thick here because that was the terminal moraine. That was where it was coming down. About 15 miles north of us, it was 1,000 feet thick. All right, now what an esker was before all of this soil was laid down by time with the glacier. Underneath here is nothing but rocks, boulders, okay? carried down from Canada. All right, now underneath the ice there was an ancient river channel, okay, and that channel was caused by meltwater from the ice sheet, and it created basically an under ice river was running along this ridge. Well, something at this end of that channel plugged the entire channel up, and over time, underneath that ice, all those boulders and sand and gravel filled in that channel depression, that melt depression underneath the ice, and filled it all in with that material. Okay, there's a car going right up on the ridge right now. Okay, so that channel filled in with all of the rock and the deposits from the glacier, and then the ice sheet melted, and it left a ridge that looks kind of like a snake going like I said, about 16 miles to the north, until it actually hit the ancient lake just earlier. This is not a huge esker, but it's noticeable nonetheless. All right, so now we're really up on top. We just went up a pretty good sized hill, and I'm going up another one right now. Just little undulations here and there, but now I am at the peak of the ridge. Okay, I'm at the peak of the ridge. No cars behind me, so I can stop for a little bit. All right, and we go way downhill that way. You can't, the video doesn't give you an appreciation of it. All right, so that's way downhill over there. All right, and then I pan on this side, and we drop off this way as well. Okay, so I am sitting on top of this ridge, and that's what this road does. It follows this ridge, almost about 15-16 miles to the north. All right, so we are riding on top of an esker. Oh, wait a minute, here's another one. I'm going to, all right, there was a branch. If you look right here, if you look right there, this right here, I gotta look behind me, make sure there's no cars coming. All right, but we dropped down. See this line right here? We dropped down probably 100, almost 200 feet on that side. But there's another ridge right here. That was a tributary coming off of that ancient channel. Okay, so that right there is another esker right there, that ridge right there. All right, so it's kind of like you take riverbeds and you flip them upside down. That's what an esker looks like. All right, so they meet, these two ridges meet right about where these guardrails are. All right, they come together right here. These are eskers. All right, trying to drive as safe as possible. I'm just filming here, looking out my window. All right, so there's a hill right there. That hill is not actually, it's more of a ridge. That's an esker. That is part of the one that I'm on top of right now. And they join together. They're coming together right, well, let me just shut up and drive and get here. Right here, okay? Right here. I'm gonna pull in these people's yard. So these, not their yard, but their drive, so I'm off of the road, okay? And I'm gonna get out. Hopefully they don't come out with a shotgun or something. Nah, they're nice people around here. All right, so I'm out of the car, and people are hunting. All right, so I'm on top of this ridge. All right, if I go over to these trees, all right, there's a huge drop off. Huge drop off. This is probably, oh my, this is probably that pond that's right down there, that pond is probably 200 feet below my feet. Okay, so this is a huge cliff, not a cliff, but a very steep hill. All right, and then I come on to the other side of Ridge Road, look both ways before I cross the road, and I come on the other side of Ridge Road, and right down there, that floor right there, that's probably 200 feet below my feet. Okay, so this whole thing is like a ridge like this, and it runs 16 miles to the north or so, and then it gets shorter, lower and lower and lower. About where we entered Ridge Road, it actually comes in contact. This is the end of the Esker. Okay, so that means at the end of this road where we turned on, that's where the glacier actually ended. Okay, the ice in this particular area. Now, this ridge, okay, the ridge that we're on goes right down this road here, and then they connect right here. All right, but then there's a little valley right here, and then that ridge runs right there, and it goes off into that direction over there. All right, it actually goes this way, and then it snakes and goes that way. All right, that is another Esker. Thousands of years ago, the floor where we are was down there. Okay, and this right here was kind of like a tunnel underneath the ice, and it filled in with rocks and sand and gravel and stuff. Okay, so it's pretty dramatic. Like I said, the video does not do this justice. It really doesn't. This is just something that you have to come out and see, especially if you're in Huron County. All right, give me a holler, and I'll take you on a glacier tour of our county. All right, but this is an Esker. This is an ancient channel that was underneath the ice, and it filled in with sediment, and then when the ice melted, it left these long snake-like ridges. Okay, so the next feature that I want to show, and here's an example here, and I'm going to show you another example up the road a little ways, is before we were looking at glacial features. This right here, of where we are right now, this is actually the extreme northern part of Huron County. It's actually, we're just right across the border. We're actually in Erie County. But what you're going to see now is, this is not so much a glacial feature, but this is history of this area. I'm at a friend of mine. His property is right on the edge, and his yard comes out, and then boom, there's a cliff. All right, and that cliff goes all the way down. You can see the farm field down there. Okay, that's about 200 feet down. Okay, that right there is the ancient lake bed of Lake, well, I'm going to say Lake Erie, but back then they have a different name for it because it was a different stage of the lake development. That is the ancient lake Whittlesea, and this ridge, this wooded area here, you come up this cliff, and then boom, you hit these people's yards right here. This right here, I am standing on the ancient shore of Lake Whittlesea. Okay, so where I'm standing right now, where my feet are on the ground on this lawn, I am standing on an ancient beach. Okay, so everybody, we are in Berlin Heights, Ohio. If the people knew what this area was, which a lot of them do, They wouldn't actually call this Berlin Heights. It would be Berlin Flats. All right, so now I'm going down this road. This is 61, and I am going down a long, gradual downhill. It's probably 3% grade, and I'm going down this hill, and we're gonna come down, see where that truck is under the overpass. All right, now I'm flattening out again. Now we're flat, we're not going downhill now. We are still relatively flat. There's a few little undulations. Okay. And we run flat for a while until we get to about this road intersection, and then boom, I'm going right back downhill at another probably 3-4% grade, and I'm going downhill still going downhill, still going downhill, until I get about right here. Now I'm gonna turn around. I'm actually gonna turn into this little parking space here, well, this driveway. I'm gonna turn around so we can get another look. All right, so this is State Route 61, north of Berlin Heights, Ohio. Okay, there's that hill that we came down. And remember, when I first started filming, we were going down a hill, and then we leveled off, and then we went down another hill. Here comes a car coming over the ridge right now. It's not really a ridge, but he's coming. That truck is right now. He's coming down the hill. All right, now I am currently standing. I'm about 4 miles from the current shore of Lake Erie. And what I'm standing on right now is the ancient lake bed of Lake Warren. Lake Warren was the post-glacial lake that formed after Lake Whittlesea. Okay? I am on an ancient lake bed of what would be now Lake Erie. All right? Now, where those cars are going up the hill right there, they are going up to that flat part, which would have been the beach of what is this Lake Warren. Okay? Those trees right there are sitting on a ridge. And that ridge goes all the way this way, all the way up to Cleveland, Ohio, about 60 miles northeast of here. Okay? That ridge right there is the ancient shoreline of Lake Warren. Lake Warren formed after Lake Whittlesea. Now, remember, we were coming down a hill when we were in Berlin Heights. We were coming down a hill and then it kind of flattened out, okay? That first hill that we came down in Berlin Heights is the ancient shoreline of Lake Whittlesea. And that flat area was the lake bed at that time. Okay, so we're leaving this spot. All right, now I'm going south on State Route 61. I'm leaving the ancient lake bed of Lake Warren, and I'm going up this incline here on this ridge. There's the ridge right over there. I'm going up this incline. This is where the lake changed. And now I'm approaching this flat area again. All this ground that I'm on now, there's a nice ridge right there. This ground that I'm on now is the ancient lake bed of Lake Whittlesea, which was much larger than Lake Warren. Okay? Going under the turnpike, the Ohio Turnpike. Now I'm going right back up that ridge that we came down to begin with. This is the ancient shore of Lake Whittlesea. And when we get up to that red light that's up there, that's the actual shoreline. Now, we just passed Olena, Ohio, just a small dot of our town. And the ground is starting to get more rolling. I am now entering right about here. I'm about a mile south of Olena, Ohio. I have just entered the moraine field of the Wisconsinan Ice Sheet. This is what I live on top of, okay? And when we get up here on this little rise up here, there's going to be a hill to the right, not to the, it would be southwest of here. Southwest of the highway is the highest point in Huron County, and that is a Kames. Matter of fact, it's right there. That hill right there. That is a Kames. That is just a big hump of rock and rubble left over from the glacier. Right there. That right there is the largest Kames in Huron County. It's not a very large Kames at all comparative to other glaciated states, but that is the tallest, that's the highest point in the county. And all that is an ancient pile of boulders. So this concludes the glaciated tour of Huron County. There are other glaciated features throughout the county. I didn't visit all of them. I just visited a handful of them. But glaciation plays a big part in Huron County's history. Of course, it wasn't a county at that time. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later.